Yeah, big welcome to you, my dear Aries. And of course, always a big welcome to all the other signs that felt like looking into this reading for today. Because the sun is in Taurus and the sun is giving Aries just a little sliver, and we all feel that. Aries is in our head. Taurus is the one that is bringing the spiritual down. Taurus is the evolution of Aries. Aries begins the spring, but Taurus is bringing it down, bringing it into the roots. So the whole story is already unfolding here, and we all feel it. And this reading, of course, you, Aries, feel it the most, but we all feel it. And I, again and again, see every reading, I see a message for me. So it's not like, okay, this is a message just for you, my dear Aries. It's also a message for me, and I have no Aries in my chart. So the story goes that the sun that is highlighting now the moon, the sun is the ego, the sun is the one that's saying, I want to bring this down, and you, which is usually the ego, is now in the moon, which is quite dark because tomorrow the new moon is in Taurus. So you feel this profoundly, and what can you do? You can just learn to accept, and this is what I encourage you to see, is that these readings are not here to predict any future. These readings are here to help you to see the situation from a different perspective, maybe a perspective that you never thought of looking at. And I think that's what it is for me. That's why I say it's an inspiration. So the yoga card that I did for Taurus is a movement, so that the two pillars that are right and left from him, he becomes them himself by moving up. Red arrow going up, getting the information, exhale, bring it down, and really like the hexagram, bringing it down into the pentagram, which is down here on earth. And here the pillars, here the two pillars, the three movements, spirit, mind, and body. And we have everywhere the number 3. For you, I did the meditation. That is, for me in yoga, that's an emperor. For me, this is not an emperor. I don't want to live within this kind of energy. I want to have a person that is connected here, that looks into the 4 directions, that understands the 4 elements, that understands all the 4 directions in sense of water, earth, fire, and air. And then the space around it is created within us, within looking through the third eye. So this is the card for you. You are, in the court cards, the Queen of Wands. If your birthday is between March 12th and February 9th, of course. If your birthday is before that, please look in the description box below. I have listed all the cards, and after is the King of Pentacles. So, you are the witch. You are a big witch, and you have this cat here sitting, really cute little cat, and you have the broomstick, and you kind of with open legs sitting here because your sexual energy is very strong. You love sex, and yeah, you understand that this energy, this fire is in your head. You understand that the color red, Mars, is your ruling planet. I mean, very impulsive, very intensive. Meanwhile, Taurus is more compassionate, but also strong in his will, right? So I have the first row, which is the past, the second row, which is the present, and the third row is the future, I have a picture at the end of this video so you can look at them. Some of them are in German, some of them are in English, because I don't have certain of these cards in English, but the picture is sufficient, and I will actually say what the card is. So I begin with 1888. I go very far. Oswald Wirth was part of the Rose Cross order, and the overall card that came up for your reading this time is the High Priestess, which is called here La Papesse. This is French cards, and La Papesse is the Popess. I think I do it right? So it's in a way here, it's not a high priestess. She is actually like the high priest, like the Hierophant, a Hierophantrix. So there is a feminine aspect wanting to talk to you. Stop being only masculine, because you are having this as your court card. So there's a feminine aspect coming to you and speaking to you. Now what I really love is that there is already the yin and the yang symbol in this book, because there is in Edgar Waite, which are these 1920, the High Priestess has the Torah as the book. Now, Edgar Waite was already quite advanced and picked the yin and the yang symbol in his book, which I really, really appreciate, that he already was so conscious to see that the Torah is coming out of the age of Aries, right? Because when we take the big H, the big circle, the H's go backwards. So here it is speaking to us about an evolution already, as something that they have understood. Now what's really, really interesting is when you look at this dark spot here, and now you're looking a little closer, there is almost someone sitting down there. There is a face, there is a darkness, there is something subconsciously. We don't know really what that figure is. At first you think it's maybe part of the chair, but it's not. So it's quite intriguing to look at, because it's like a sphinx. I'm gonna hold it very close to the camera so you can see it. So this is your overall theme, right? And I'm going to come back to it during the reading. So we go and see into Edgar Waite, which is 1920. So this was 1888 or 89. He already used it in this secret order that he was part of. Now you come up very young, very in your past. You must have gotten quite some energy. Now these are the German cards that I worked with when I learned about them, and I find it interesting. I was just writing as much as I can to get the reading going, and everybody learns it in his own way, and it's kind of saying, yes, the message is coming, the information is coming, however you contain them, it doesn't matter, right? I mean, why do we have to be perfect? I don't want to be perfect. I want to be honest. I want to be real. I want you to realize that I'm learning here, because I want to learn how to create my own tarot deck through the yoga positions that I'm putting in. So I need to really learn, and that's why I use 15 different decks and oracle cards. So here you have an information that came back then to you, and that information brought you forward into Scorpio, and then right away into the judgment, or into the high court, into the angel that is calling these people here. And here you see Scorpio, the death card. You realize something. Maybe someone died, you got the message of someone that died, and it woke you up big time. I mean, death is never funny. So because this is following, and I feel that maybe someone passed away that was important to you, and it really shook you and it really woke you up, not always, of course, is this death. This can also just simply be a transformation, a wake-up call. I gotta change. I gotta do something, because you can be quite impulsive. And interesting enough, 4 cards came up of them, right? So it's really giving me then I mean, I don't take 9 cards when they come out. It's too much, because I have 15 cards. Otherwise, I have so many cards lying here. The reading goes like 2 hours. It's already long for 40 minutes. Now, Aleister Crowley, 1969, he also had 4 cards coming out. So these are the first 2, which is the 9 of Swords and the 2 of Wands, which is Mars in your sign in Aries. And it's speaking about that there is, then after this wake-up call, you realize that something was quite brutal in your life, that something that was quite mentally intense. It shook you, it really, like, almost, I mean, it's cruelty, right? This is what the name of the card is, cruelty. And the 2 is like rulership. So you had to learn to work with this intensity, with this mind that is very intense. And for some reason, then you got the 8 of Pentacles and the Lovers. And the 8 of Pentacles is getting better and better at your own craft, at your own work, whatever you're doing. You're working hard on it to get an equilibrium, to work, to love yourself, because this is intense, right? And this is intense. So you already getting here an 8 portal. So something comes really fast flying at you, and it's almost like these wands are literally like wanting to fit into each of these flowers. So it's kind of like a penetration. It's kind of like it's a real hitting you. And the 2-2 portal here as well. Actually, this is also a 2. So there is a 2-2, but this is a 20, right? But then there's a 0 in there, which means that there is a new beginning as well. You're waking up as this high priestess, as this Hierophant, and you are learning that something has to shift, something has to become more empowered from a feminine aspect, maybe, because it is now the Pope-S, right? There is no Pope-S. There is a movie that they made where there was apparently a woman disguised as a man, and it's called the Pope-S, I think, or the Papes, La Papes. So something is speaking to you, and you are really going deep within into learning to wake up, into learning to work on something that is the holy marriage, the Lovers. And the holy marriage is about you knowing that you gotta love yourself, and once you love yourself, everything else is just gonna fall into place. You're gonna meet the right people, you're gonna get the right work, and you are going to be successful. So this is 1969. Now we have Hermann Handel, and Hermann Handel is 1985, and you got the 4 of Pentacles. So you're going down, further down into the 4, into stability. Maybe you don't want to work the same way you have been working on yourself, and you're changing directions, and you want to work a little less, and you're beginning a new cycle. So there is the 0 coming again with the 0 here in the 20. So this wake-up call is saying to you, maybe work less, don't push yourself too much, because maybe you pushed yourself too much because you are action, you want to do, you are impulsive, you're intensive, you're like, let's do it, let's do it, let's do it. You fire your energy. But something is saying, no, you gotta calm down. Now what's really interesting here, as you can see below, there's all these little red dots below the sword. Now look here into this little red dot that he is putting onto the swan. I mean, it's a very interesting card. I mean, I still try to figure out most of these cards. What is he really saying? I read them, but how to interpret them, it's another story, right? Because it's like, that's what these cards are about. It's like the visual is speaking to you. And so the 4 and the 0 is like in your work you want to begin new. So here you got only 2 cards, but now in the Medicine Woman, you got another 4 cards coming up, and the first 2 is, again, the Judgment, which is here speaking about an initiation, the Judgment, an introspection, something coming to you. So again, you get a 2020 portal, and you get right after that the High Priestess again as the seeker. These are German cards. The seeker that is looking, that is searching for what? Herself. And you found in this meditation, in going deep within, in understanding when you do meditate, that you understand going up into your mind. This is where the initiation is happening. This is where you can see that this card is reflected in a completely different way here. You see she's half naked, she's in nature. I mean, the moon is shining down, and she's at peace. She's at one with herself. I mean, which one would you like to be, this one or this one, right? This is 1988, so it's almost 100 years later. You see that? Good. So here you have, again, a 20 and a 2 coming up, and then comes the Hanged One, the Hanged Man. It's a vision, and you got the Powerless of Cups, the Queen of Cups. So there is something opening you up. There is something saying to you, you gotta look at yourself and see yourself reversed in your own reflection. In when you're searching for yourself, you always find actually not someone else, but you find yourself. And I think this is the message from the past for you at this point, is that you then come to a healing point. You come to an understanding that, yeah, this is Scorpio, and Scorpio is also a water sign, and it's giving you the sign that the Hanged Man is always before Scorpio. So the Hanged Man is speaking about, yes, now is even the Hanged Man coming. And you already got the Scorpio. So there is a vision coming, maybe from someone that died back then. And you can heal, and you can actually come to a really beautiful place. Good. So far the past. Now we're going into the present. The present brought as an oracle card Eve. The card number 16, which is then a 7. And a 7 you don't have here. You have a 6, an 8, a 9. No, you don't have a 7. So Eve is standing here, and I see her as Eve, and I see her as Eve. As you can see, right? I mean, it's in the end, it's only a male and a female. It doesn't matter if it's the emperor, it's always a man. And if it's the empress, it's a woman. If it's a high priestess, or if it's the magician, or if it's the Hierophant, it's like there is male and female character throughout all of the decks. And it comes always down to the first female that captured our consciousness, which is Eve, the mother of all mothers. And you can see she's quite lush in this crazy environment. I mean, she has the snake wrapped around her neck, so she is that seductive. She is, you know, giving us a sign that she is very sexual. And you are as well very sexual. You have your legs wide open. You see that? I think you're the only one who has the legs wide open like that. Then comes the 3 of Swords, which is a triangle story here. Now, in terms of people, you have a Scorpio, you have a Gemini, and you have a Cancer here. So there could be something, but for me, this is always like looking at painful situation, looking at what sorrow means to you. The 3 of Swords, these are just mental worries, because right after you got the Sun. So something has lifted, something has shifted. You don't have to worry too much, maybe. You have to let go of what happened here, because I mean, it's in your mind. It's rooted maybe in your past. Maybe there has been a triangle story. I don't like to read that usually, because I mean, if there is a triangle story, you know. I rather read like this is connected to the Empress, and even an Empress or a female power, the number 3, Binah, in the Hebrew or in the Kabbalistic tree of life, is speaking of reproducing something. You have 2, then you get the number 3, right? Immediately you're creating something new. So in you there is something that's saying, I want to grow, I want to learn, but you don't know yet how. Then comes Taming the Wind. This is Alberto Villoldo, the mystical shaman. And the mystical shaman speaks here of a portal, 55, and then right away 75, which is then a 12, which is a 3, and this is a 10. So here's a 10-10 portal. And you don't have another 10, right? You have the 20-20 portal. You have twice the Judgment. You have the 0. And you have here a 12. So it's here another 3. So you have a 3. And you have a 3. So you have a 3-3 portal. And of course, remembering this is like the number 13, which becomes a 4, which is connected to you. So something here happened, right? Quite fast. And that death and this Judgment comes right after something happened there. So you got to learn to work with the wind, because this is air, right? This is the air component. So taming the wind. And then time master, learning in this 3, learning in this 10, 1 and 0. Learning that this new 3 is allowing you to realize that the time heals things, but time doesn't exist. That the time is sometimes brings things back, another 3, right? So you have a 3, 3, 3 portal, 3 times 3. Okay, so that's interesting. But as you see, it's speaking to you about learning to understand the element of air, which is then connected to the mind, to the thinking mind, to this 9 of Swords. Intense energies, 9 of Swords, and so learn to release that. And the animal spirit that follows right after, which I did because all shamans work with animals, is the hummingbird, is the third eye, and is the buffalo. And this is so beautiful because the hummingbird is an air sign. And in Alberto Villoldo, it's the third eye, and I see a correlation now to this third eye, this inner eye that sees all four elements. So here's Hummingbird, and it's speaking about it's positive, it's enthusiastic, it's spiritually resourceful. When in balance, it's smart, curious, and loves to learn. So you are maybe pulled to learn that time heals things, time heals this three, right? And with the 55 portal, which is the throat, which is like speaking the truth and speaking honestly, 5-5, which is then a 1 and a 0, it's bringing to you quite a spiritual message of learning to when you're up in the air, also to ground yourself, because that's what the buffalo does. The buffalo is an earth sign, and the buffalo says grounded yet heavenly, practical yet spiritual. So he's combining it. When in balance, trusting and pure presence. So that you have these two, it seems like this one is speaking to this one, this animal speaking to the time master because it's up in the air. Taming the wind. This is one, this one, the hummingbird is connected with taming the wind. And then here we have the time, which is space, is the buffalo, maybe like this. So these two are working with each other, helping you to understand the importance to release past traumas, past emotional traumas, things that maybe were quite painful. I mean, it's, you know, what can we do? It's like that this is coming and it's saying, wake up. It's coming twice. Wake up. Wake up. And she's coming twice, the popes, popes, right? La popes, the popes, the Hierophantrix, she's coming up twice. And you are getting then the angel coming, speaking to you and saying, wake up, really wake up, come out of this. And then the last two cards in the present moment are the Six of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles. Virgo is coming here, speaking to you and saying, okay, move on. Stand up and see that maybe you have really understood the sun, because this is Leo, is the center of our solar system, and that everything is evolving around and everything is shifting and everything is moving. And here you are understanding that, learning that, and now moving forward, moving ahead, moving into the future. Now the future brings the peacock, and it's very cute because I see a little cat, and look, there's a little cat. There's a little cat looking. Now if I turn it around, you see this is a dove. So there's a dove and a cat right here. This card is speaking about growth. Feel open, willing, and proud of your desire to explore new opportunities for self-development. The number 19. The number 19. Very clear, you getting an invitation to let go of what happened and to master yourself, because you are deep in you. You are Eve. You are the first woman. You are a woman that is a Hierophantrix. You are the high priestess. You are the seeker. You're seeking for that which is your inner light. You are seeking for self-observation. And here it comes. Do you growing? You will grow. You will move. And you will open yourself. You will open yourself completely and show yourself. Because then comes the Six of Swords, which is Aquarius. And Aquarius is about learning. The age of Aquarius is about learn your craft, learn everything about what there is to learn, and know that more and more information is coming down from the stars. More and more information also about the pages is coming down. A page that already has inspired you here as that page of wands, as that younger you. And now there's a young generation in the future that is inspiring you, that is listening to the fish, is hugging the trees, is there for Fridays for Future. I mean, you understand, it's something speaking to you. Nevertheless, you got another 5 of Swords. There is something in your heart, there is something that you have to realize, that something happened here with your heart. There has been some cruelty done to you, or you have done it to others, because you can be quite intense. But the young generation is hopefully helping you to look deep within into this woman that is hiding behind the white, is hiding behind the snow, is hiding and is making herself cold to this kind of pain, to this pain that is the 3 of Swords, a deep pain of the heart, a pain that you gotta release and you gotta open in the future. And I see you are able to do it because you got the Magician. You got the Magician that's saying, okay, if I can do it, if the Magician can do it, because you don't have an ace here of any of the 4 elements. Yes, you do. Now you have the page, but no ace. You don't have an ace, so, but you have the Magician, and the Magician says, I'm gonna learn, I'm gonna grow, and I'm gonna open this portal. I'm gonna open the portal to the 9 of this difficult situation, the 9 here, and another 9 of voices. So it's the same, but it's a different time. This is in the 20s, this is 1969, and you can see now how intense these 9 of Swords are. You cannot sleep, and of course this is more gentle. She's here and she's holding on to this 1. She's holding on to the 1, and you have the 9, so you have a 999 portal saying, okay, learn to release, learn to let go, learn to let go. It's always the same, right? In the end, it's like, okay, we gotta let go. So you have this 3 times 9 portal. Walk forward, keep walking, let go of even the money that you holding on maybe sometimes, right? Because you're an emperor, you like the power, and you have the 8 of Pentacles here. So look into it, right? And you remember that you want to begin new. You want to begin new. You are the Fool. The Fool is here. So here you have these 2, and now you have the 2-2. You have the 2 and the 2, framing her here, the 22, which is Fool's Embrace, transmuting pain. So if you learn from this woman that is stepping up, you transmuting pain, this kind of pain and this kind of pain, and you have this pain twice, 9, 18, which is a 9 again. You see that? 9 and 3 is 12. 12 is 3. So you have again the 3 left. So these are gone, finished. These, right, are now, and these are in the future. So release and become this empowered woman. Release and let go, because the vision, the 12 here is a 3, is again speaking to this 3. You see that now? I mean, it's really speaking to you to open up and release and to heal profoundly yourself, to heal this transmuting pain. And look at her. I mean, she is like holding on to things in her head, and you got to let go through meditation, because I mean, this is Mars, planet Mars. It's the same kind of bizarre landscape in her head and in her whole body. There is something that you gotta really let go and move ahead. And now that you're powerful, now that you're the magician, now that you're Eve, now that you're female and masculine together, know that everything is coming and going. Everything is again and again coming and giving you the same message over and over again. There is no other way. Everything is turning, everything is spinning. We are here to learn. We are here to grow. We are here to realize the message is coming down. Whatever I've learned here, I have to bring it up. And this is what the Taurus brings to us. And this is this little bit of light that is highlighting you, which is quite not enough to make us see the moon up in the sky, because tomorrow is a new moon in Taurus. So then it's really dark. Okay, I hope I see you in the next reading, because Gemini is here. The sun, or we move, so we see behind the sun the constellation Gemini, self-love, understanding that you got to come into your own power. You got to come to liberate yourself out of any pain, to be really in self-love. That's going to be the topic in the next reading. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.